all right. Got somebody real special on the today's show today. Um, I showed this guy all he knows about DB. Ah, but I got today with me Mr. Dante Marsh. So the funny thing about Dante and I we were roommates our rookie year. I say rookie year, now he's older than me, but we were still in our first year with the BC Lions in the Canadian Football League. He stuck around. How many years, Dante?
I got a 11 up there.
11. He did 11 years. I did one. But we still stayed cool throughout the years. And so, man, we just gonna have a conversation, and with us having dialogue, you're gonna get to know him. You're gonna know us. You're gonna know our experiences as players together. And we're just gonna talk. But Dante is a two-time Grey Cup winner, both with the BC Lions. He's a former NFL alum. Spent the year or so with the Tennessee Titans. Hurt your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hurt his shoulder. Things didn't work out. So he went up north, or out west, northwest, and had a wonderful, outstanding career. It was so fun to see that guy put in that work, and see all the gains and returns that he got because of it. Now he has a moniker that he goes by. How can they beat you if they don't outwork you? And you outwork this guy, I get tired watching him on his Twitter. And also was putting that work in with the young guys, getting them right. He also does some work with some NFL guys, D1 guys. So yeah, he's definitely putting that work. Dante Marsh, number 31, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, let me add one more thing. The guy is CFL Hall of Fame eligible. All right, so very shortly, all right, he will be getting that call to be informed that he is a CFL Hall of Famer, and what a mighty accomplishment that is. So none other than Mr. Dante Marsh, guys.
My brother.
What's good, bro?
Hey man, I am living a dream still. I'm still on scholarship.
Still on scholarship, huh?
Yeah, man. It's I'm thankful. I'm blessed. Highly favored. All of that. I really don't have any complaints. I've accomplished what I set out to accomplish since I was a little kid.
Right.
And man, it's been one hell of a ride.
Cool. Now, for our audience that don't know, tell everybody where you're from, where you went to school, and just a little about your background.
I hail from the great state of California, Oakland, California, to be exact. Graduated from McClymonds High School in West Oakland. Was a part of Pat Hill's first recruiting class at Fresno State, along with David Carr, Anthony Limbrick, Devon Banks, Rodney.
I'm a fan of Pat Hill. Never met him, but the guy looks genuine.
Yeah, Vernon Fox, man, we had a lot of very talented football players come through Fresno State during Pat Hill's tenure. So left McClymonds High School, recruited by Pat Hill. We got that program nationally recognized. A slew of draft picks and NFL guys has come out of there since.
Right.
Was blessed and fortunate to get the opportunity in the National Football League with the Tennessee Titans.
Drafted or undrafted?
Undrafted, priority free agent. Yeah, I got several calls Friday from 3 or 4 teams, Tennessee being one of them. Hey, where you gonna be at this weekend, et cetera, et cetera. Very excited. My pops at the time was really excited because, what I was being told was as early as the 4th round on.
Right.
So I thought I would get selected. It didn't pan out that way, but as soon as the draft was over, I had 4 or 5 teams offering me contracts.
Why Tennessee?
Because they're the first team that called me prior to the draft.
Oh.
And
okay.
I had a few other teams too. The New York Giants gave me a 4th round, draftable grade. And I sat there and watched 2 days of that thing. the most stressful, high hopes, low hopes thing you could ever do. But it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. Got a great opportunity. I was actually the only free agent corner that they brought in.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, they drafted Andre Dyson, who I know,
Uh-huh.
who played in my conference, Kevin's younger brother. He
Yeah.
was a round pick, and we were the only two rookie corners they brought in. So it was a great situation set up for me. Balled out, training camp, preseason. I end up getting hurt, getting placed on injury reserve, and then that's that. They didn't bring me back the following year. I basically had a career-ending injury.
According to who?
According to some doctors.
Yeah. Okay.
and real talk, in the way that the shoulder was, I had nerve damage. I had a torn rotator cuff, bicep tendon. It was all
That's
jacked up.
because you always want to hit with your shoulder, bro. All right. You always want to hit with your shoulder. You always want to, with that DB stuff.
No,
It wasn't until you met me that you really started facing cats up and laying that wood.
I faced him. What it was, Aaron, we were playing the Chicago Bears at home. It was Adelphia Coliseum at the time. That's what it was named back then. And like I'm having a phenomenal camp. All our like 5 of our free agents made the Titans team. Like
Right.
Blankenship even joked like, man, some are free agents are better than the draft picks. So whoever was in the scouting department at that time did a hell of a job.
Right.
It's very good football players that went undrafted that they signed. So anyway, playing cover 2, I'm having a real good preseason. We were kind of on, the ball was closer to our sideline. Samari Rowland, them guys, they not dressed, so they,
Right.
I'm trying to get plays. So we in
Right.
cover 2, and they dinking and dunking to get down the field to kick a field goal, and one of the receivers run a quick out. I'm sitting out there in the flat like,
Looking at the shot.
dang, man, I hit that man so hard, he kind of helicoptered, but he got back up. When I got back up, my shoulder was like this.
Gangster league.
Yeah, so it was a freak. I don't want to call it a freak accident. It just was what it was. It's
Right.
it comes with the territory. So
Yeah.
some pretty a fair amount of damage to the shoulder. So definitely, we flew to St. Louis to play a preseason game. We also flew to Detroit. My doctor wouldn't let me play. It was that bad.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Man, I tore all kind of stuff. It was so bad. I was out of football 3 years after that.
Yeah, I know. Now I do know that. You was working at Frisco for a while, right?
It was
Not Frisco. What's the
Cisco.
Cisco? Yeah.
Cisco. And then that was for a hot minute, and then I became I got a job as a lead counselor at a group home facility.
Right. Okay. So how'd you end up getting the call from the BC Lions? How'd that work out?
So once I got my shoulder together, that took about I'm gonna say probably like a full year to be ready to really like get to it.
Yeah.
Surgery, post-surgery, rehab, and able to get like really full go. It took me about a year, to my standards and expectations. And then I started training. Man, I love these dudes to life, man. Thomas Witherspoon and Kenny Harrison. Kenny Harrison won a gold medal in the 96 Olympics triple jump. And him and T Spoon, man, they were big time trainers in the Bay Area with Pepper Sports.
Mm-hmm.
So the agent that I had at the time connected the dots, started training with them. They at the time was training Charles Woodson when he was his first stint with the Raiders. Kevin Barlow used to play running back for San Francisco. And a slew of draft picks. My homeboy Sammy Parker, Oregon 4th round pick. Marcus Trufant, Lamont Thompson, Kyle Bowler. The list goes on.
Oh, you in the fire, bro. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, so I was just busting my chops, man, getting back to me. And Kevin Barlow, like, hey, dog, he a funny dude.
Right.
You ain't on the team. And I'm working. I'm like, nah, man. Say, man, you need to be on the team, man. You need to come and play for the Niners. I'm gonna talk to the player personnel. So one thing led to another. I had a private workout in Santa Clara with the Niners. did very well. It was me and another guy who was, I forget his name, man. He went to Purdue. He was a 4th round draft pick, and he was with the Bears, and he blew his knee out. So he was trying to, his
Yeah.
comeback. It was just me and him. And they were gonna sign me on the spot. But they have, when you, as you know, you go through OTAs and mini camp, that's a roster. Those guys been there. This is like late, right before training camp. So, we put you on the short list, that jazz. So whatever. So after that, one of my high school homeboys who kind of does like some part-time being an agent type deal. That's the field he was trying to get. He had a connection with Bob Obilovich.
Bob Obilovich.
Obi, right? Like, Marsh, man, you about to be 24, man. You gotta play ball, man. You still got it. So I'm like, yeah. It's NFL or bust for me, So Buffalo Bills flew me out to work out. And I wasn't getting the contracts,
right.
to that. I wasn't getting, to camp yet. So I'm kind of just on the cusp, but I'm waiting. But I need to be active because my shoulder is fine, I'm cleared to play. So one thing led to another. OB was coming to the East West Shrine College All-Star game, which they had in the Bay Area for years until they moved it. So this is when Pac Bell Park, where the Giants play baseball at, just pretty much brand new stadium. So they moved that game from Stanford to Pac Bell Park. So my homeboy called me like 5 o'clock one day. Hey man, get dressed, man. We're about to come pick you up. We're going to San Francisco. Get your highlight film. Get all that, man. We about to go. Man, I ain't going. Man, yeah, I'm coming to pick you up. So we blast out to San Francisco from Oakland, San Francisco, about 10, 15 minutes across the bridge. And we meet up with Bob Obilovich. So we having dinner, shooting the shit.
You had dinner?
Yeah. We had dinner with Obi. And okay. So, Bob.
Right.
Yeah, Dante. I hand them, I give them the highlight film. This is my Fresno State stuff, my preseason stuff with the Titans, et cetera, et cetera. And we talk about the CFL a little bit. And okay, well, look at your stuff and, you'll be hearing from us. Okay, that was that. So about 3 weeks later, I got a FedEx the contract.
What?
Yeah. I got FedEx the contract and it sat on my table for like a month.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was on some NFL.
Right.
So contract, sitting on I had a lazy Susan little thing on top of my kitchen table. So the contract was terrible. It was like
yeah, I know. I bet yours was better than mine though.
It was like 45 grand, and then
better than mine.
If you started or whatever, you could, it was another $6,000 to $8,000 on the table, or some jazz like that.
Oh yeah, they kill you. They're the rookie contracts, bro.
So my wife at the time was like, babe, just sign it. You need to play football. Just sign. Just go up there. So I did a little bit of my research, and because I already knew Rocket Ismail had went up there and got the bag. This is back when they was trying to compete with the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? And I knew Jeff Garcia, obviously me being a Bay Area kid, watching him play quarterback with the 49ers. You kind of knew of it. And I knew, Theismann was up there, and I knew Warren Moon. And of course, Doug Flutie, everybody knows.
Everybody knows Doug Flutie, yeah.
Outside of that, I didn't know too much. I'm still, thinking everybody up there lives in igloos. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I signed the contract. But we need to see you run a 40. We need to see you work out. So basically, for those that don't know, back in them days, the Canadian Football League, if they like you enough, they'll FedEx you a contract. They'll give you a contract. You sign that contract, but it's contingent based on these workouts. So even though I'm signed to the team, if I get to this workout and I shit on myself, they're gonna tear that contract up. You're sorry, but we're not inviting you to training camp. So this story is the craziest story ever. All right, so I signed the contract, I sent it back, but we need to see you work out. So it's like the how they do their little tour, the US.
Right.
So basically, the Canadian Football League used to do a lot of camps in the United States, and they charging cats $100 a head. They making a killing, right?
Oh, they killing, yeah, they killing.
So they didn't charge. Obviously, I didn't have to pay to work out. I already signed the contract, but like I said, it's based on my performance. So been training, doing my thing. I'm in the best shape of my life, right? So me and my wife at the time and her cousin, she was at San Jose State. So we left Oakland, picked her up, and then some of her high school friends we all went to high school with were going to school at Long Beach State. So we drive from the Bay Area to LA. It's like 6-hour drive. But first we stopped at Jack in the Box. So I ordered a chicken sandwich.
This is before the workout?
This is the day before.
Oh, wow.
This is the day before.
Okay.
Left early in the morning. So I ordered a chicken sandwich, an Oreo cookie, slice of cheesecake, and a salad, right? Because it's about to be a road trip. So I eat the salad and then I eat the cheesecake, and I'm like, I eat that chicken sandwich later. So we on the road. We drive. We finally get to Long Beach around 7 at night. All right. So my wife at the time, she gonna go out with her girlfriends. I'm got a big time workout tomorrow, so I'm in the house stretching, going up the stairs, doing all this stuff, getting mentally ready. But I'm hungry now, so I go grab that sandwich, take the chicken out, and throw it in the microwave, and put it back on the sandwich, and I ate it. Listen to me. About an hour after that, I was pissing out my butt. I got food poisoning. This is crazy. So I got this big time workout. I'm coming down with food poisoning. So by the time it was midnight, I was in bad shape, brother. I was sick as a dog. It's coming.
I never heard this story.
This is an amazing.
I never heard this one.
So check it out. It's so crazy because this is how I know God exists, right? So I'm like, no, God, man, like you cannot be serious right now.
100% serious.
I got a big day tomorrow. Okay, so wake up the next morning. It's to that point, like I can't even barely hold it. I got to use the bathroom every 15 20 minutes. So we drive from Long Beach to Santa Monica. So Santa Monica Junior College is where the workouts is. So we get there early. It's about 7. The check-in starts at 9. So it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. So we go on our way, stop at the gas station. Guess who I runs into? Damon Wayans. Hey man, what's going on, man? This is a crazy story, right? He was cooler than a fan at the gas station. Real cool brother. So anyway, we get to the Santa Monica Junior College, and we waiting. I'm got the seat laid down in the car, like, man, I don't know, man. For those who don't know, I don't use public restrooms. Unless it's nothing else can do. So it's a Foster Freeze up the street from the school. At the junior college, we're about to have this big workout there. So I'm like, hey, go to Foster Freeze. Go to Foster Freeze. So I go to Foster Freeze. The Asian people in there working, looking. I ain't nothing, bro. Can I use your bathroom? I'm in the bathroom. I locked that. I laid all the paper on that toilet seat, bro. It's just going there.
Oh, that's funny.
I do that. I'm feeling a little better. I'm drinking Pedialyte. I'm trying to get myself together. So then we drive back, still waiting. It's about 8 o'clock now. So we got about an hour. I'm like, go back to Foster Freeze. Go back to Foster Freeze. I used to back from the kid. So finally, we get out on the field. They bring everybody up. It's like literally maybe 100, 150 people out there.
Oh, yeah, that's deep.
Yeah. At $100 a pop. So we get out there, and it's natural grass. Mind you, this is 2004. So it's everybody don't have field turf yet.
Yeah.
So it started drizzling. It's like overcast in LA. It's like a light drizzle. I'm like, bruh, it just ain't meant for me to play football no more because everything that could go wrong is going wrong. So my stomach kind of calmed down just enough for me to kind of, I got to run around and stuff.
Right.
So they bring everybody up. Then they get us all in the dynamic warm up. And then after that, bring us back up. Okay, the lineman going to go first. I'm like, man, what? Come on, man. Let the fast guys get these 40s out the way. Let the linemen go out there. You know what I'm saying? So we warmed up. Now we got to sit there and, wait for them to be done and then do our. So lo and behold, it's our turn to work out. I get down and, I warm up real good, stretch. I'm ready. I've been doing my thing. I get down, say my little prayer, take off. Run through the line. you know what we do? Hey, hey, what was that time?
Right. Oh yeah.
So he's like 4:38. I was like,
Ooh. Oh yeah, my man got the
okay.
feet. My man got feet.
So I was like, you know what? My hamstring a little tight. I'm only because you got to run too.
Yeah, run too.
Yeah, I didn't run the second one, so I got my time. I'm cool with it. So after that, they bring everybody else up, and they finna let after that 40. Cats is going home because the CFL they want that speed. You ain't ran a good 40, you're going home.
Mm-hmm.
So all them people, they kept maybe 20 something people left over. I was one of them. So then we go to one-on-one. No, we do drills. I kill the drills, obviously. Then we go to one-on-ones. My first one-on-one, cat, I think it was Jeff MacArthur, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Played receiver at Cal. First one-on-one, ran a skinny post. I picked it. Okay, boom. Second one, try to run a deep go. I knock it down. Then the third rep I went, Obilovich is like, Dante, back up and catch him. I'm like, what the hell?
I mean, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I don't know.
Okay, okay, yeah, okay, all right.
I play corner.
Yeah.
You line up, either I'm gonna press
back
you.
Back up and catch him.
Yeah, back up and catch him. What you talking about? Yeah, like arena. So this is when the cat backed up and ran at me. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh. So I do my thing. Then they bring everybody else up. They dismiss people, and then that was that. And I'm like, okay, so now what? We'll see you in training camp, Dante. So that's how that started. So June comes. I packed me a big duffel. I ain't going back until the season over because I'm going to make
I packed everything I had, bro.
So we get up to camp. They had a veteran guy, real.
What was his name?
Shad Chris.
He added a donkey in camp, bro. Added a donkey in camp. So for our audience, just in case you don't know, I didn't learn this till I got to camp. So when you go to a camp, no matter for CFL, NFL, I would say, and you can confirm or correct me if I'm wrong. They say when you get to camp, at least 95% of that roster is already made before you even get to camp. So everybody else is pretty much either you're a camp body or practice roster or you're going home. But they already know who's going to make the team, not unless you just kill camp for yourself.
You got to blow it out the water.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty much you were brought there to replace Chad for the most part.
Yeah. So, and they didn't tell me that.
They're not going to tell you that, but.
So, I was on some, to be honest, man, I'm finna go up to the CFL, I'm finna dominate it. That's how my attitude was at the time. This is when I had the dreads, like mouth full of gold teeth. I wasn't Coach Marsh. I wasn't this guy, okay? So I was still on my town business, Oakland, yada yada, you know what I'm saying? I was still in that mode, very confident. I'm not gonna say cocky, but I was extremely confident. And I killed it in camp.
Yeah, a good camp, great camp.
Not trying to be funny, but like I was like, oh, preseason game. I'll be here this season. I'm going back to the NFL. I'm finna kill it.
Yeah, those are our conversations.
Yeah. So everything was going as planned. So we played the first preseason game because it's only 2 preseason games. In a regular CFL season, for those that don't know, they have 18 regular season games, and then you only have 2.
But it's 2 bye weeks though. It's 2 bye weeks.
Right. But you got 20 games out the gate. And that's not including playoffs in the Grey Cup, right?
Man.
So, you really have to do something extraordinary in 2.5, 3 weeks of training. Because you don't really have no time. There's not 4 preseason games. It's 2 shots. And that first game, they let a lot of the first year players play. And then the second game, that's the tune-up for the vets to get ready for game 1.
Right.
So, it's people think the CFL is second rate. No. I played with Cam Wake for 2 years. He ended up in the league. He might be a Hall of Famer in the NFL at some point. Chris Wilson. We we played with a lot of guys. There
Yeah.
was NFL draft picks that came up there and didn't do too well. I'm talking about Heisman Trophy winners.
Bro, so our rookie year, there was some draft picks we sent home.
Yeah.
They sent them cats home and kept us.
Yeah.
Man,
so it's real. Let me preface it by saying it's very real. So had a real good first game, and then I come in the locker room like the day after, that rundown day, and I'm out of the makeshift. I'm like, where my stuff at? So Ryan Thelwell, shout out to my homeboy Theo Weezy, he's like, Dante, congrats, bro. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? I'm so oblivious to what happened. So they cut the veteran guy and moved my locker into the real lockers now. So I'm like, oh.
Oh.
So, when I first went up there, they gave me number 40. I was on my James Hasty. Remember? I had 40 for the first preseason game.
Oh God.
Yeah, I made it look fresh though. Yeah,
you got to.
See, I had number 40 for my first preseason game in the Canadian Football League. So after that, I'm like, man, I gotta get out this number. I made the team. I'm not wearing this. James Hasty, shout out, he was dope as ever at the Kansas City Chiefs back in the day, but 40 is just not for Dante. So I was like, I need another number. I want my college number. I want 27. So our homeboy from LA,
Eddie Linscomb.
Eddie Lipscomb, yeah,
yep.
Little muscle head.
Yeah,
he had 27, and he got put on the practice roster. But I was like, Eddie, let me get 27. No, Marsh, I'm gonna keep it. So I'm like, man, damn. So then we had another DB, Tadero France, was that his name?
Yeah, Tadero France, T France, we'll call him.
So he had 31, and then they ended up letting him go. So I was like, I need that 31. And then my DB coach from Fresno State, who went to Fresno State, shout out JD Williams. He wore 31 at Fresno. He was a first round draft pick. So I was like, man, you know what? I can't get my number. I'm gonna go with 31. So that was the beginning of what was to come up in the Canadian Football League.
Man, yeah. So we played Winnipeg, and we played, who else did we play that year?
What game was it? You talking about
Saskatchewan? Played Saskatchewan at home.
Yeah.
And then we went on the road and played Winnipeg. Yep. And that was it. And after that, I remember Wally brought everybody together. And he said this. So guys, pretty much everybody in this room, in some capacity, is going to make up the BC Lions for this year. And I was like, wow, wow.
You had a good group of dudes in that group, man.
Man, just had a interview with Craig Smith the other day, and we talked about the makeup of the 2004 BC Lions. And bro, I mean, we started out rough. We started out really rough, but after we got our systems go, I think we we won 9 in a row, which was a CFL record at that time. So we put off 9 in a row, and then it was on the popping from there. But just talk about your rookie year. So you're a starter now. We're getting ready for our first game. Just talk about your rookie year. How you kind of had to learn on the fly. How it's different from the college and NFL. Just talk about that a little bit.
So after that, I think we had 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. Then it was the first regular season game.
Yeah, because we had to find a place.
Let me just say this, man. Coming from being in a Division I college program to getting the opportunity to spend a year in the NFL, to going to the Canadian Football League, let me just say this. Them first 2 years was rough, brother. I'm gonna say that. Now, I ended up making some decent money. Now, mind you, it's 5 months out the year to play football, get a check for it. Come on, man.
So, yeah.
It wasn't the NFL money, but I made $57,000 my first year, and then the next year I made like 63 because the first year we went to the Grey Cup.
Right.
Lost to Toronto, so I made playoff bonus money. I started every game, now some extra bands. So I did decent. I made damn near $60,000 playing, Canada, and then 60 something the next year. But we didn't have any direction really. Nobody kind of, man, we was out there hustling, trying to find apartments, getting furniture.
Bro, so remember how we moved our beds into the apartment across the street. We had to run. So the hotel, shout out to whatever hotel that was, but they were wonderful.
Yeah.
They gave us beds.
The Days Inn on
the Days Inn. Yep.
Main Street.
I don't know. Surrey, both of them. I don't know.
It's on the tip of my tongue. That Main Street. But anyway,
I don't know.
It was the Days Inn across the street from the big apartment building.
Yeah. So they gave us beds, but we had nowhere in the world to move. So we had to run them things from the hotel to the apartment room.
Yeah, man. So that brings back some memories, dog. So yeah, we on the team. We preparing for the first regular season game. I had done so well in preseason and in training camp. I'm like, bro, I'm finna destroy this shit. Like, they don't even understand. I got the biggest chip on my shoulder. Shout out to my big bro Carl Kidd. We didn't get off on the best foot.
No, y'all didn't.
we became real tight. I call him Uncle Carl, man. So yeah, guys like Barron Simpson, Carl Kidd, Otis Floyd. Roy Simon, shout out G Roy, that's my brother from another. We had a lot of good dudes. Casey Printers, we had a lot of good dudes on that squad, man. It was real family style.
Who was the backup quarterback that played with the Browns?
Gio Carmazzi.
No, he played at Hofstra.
But he was a third round pick to San Fran.
Spurgeon Win. Spurgeon Win.
Spurgeon Win. Yep.
Spurgeon Win. Without Spurgeon, we don't win. We don't clutch the East.
The West.
We don't clutch the West without Spurgeon because Casey and
Dave Dickinson
were hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I mean, Casey had like the most phenomenal breakout year in the CFL. What he had like 32 for like 35 touchdowns.
I don't know, but it's ridiculous.
5,000 yards passing. It was something crazy. So we get prepared. Danny McManus, obviously veteran guy, been in the league a long time. And it's me and my homeboy Sam Young, two young guys on the corner, first time starter dudes on the corners. And yeah, Hamilton.
Who's on it? Who's the field and who's the boundary?
I was the boundary, the hot spot, and then
in all the work.
The field. Yeah.
So for the audience, kind of explain the dimensions of your field in the CFL.
The NFL football field or United States dimensions for high school and college are 53 by 4 yards wide. Hold on 1 second, D.
Go ahead.
Let me move my car real quick. Give me 1 second.
Go ahead. Yeah, so I don't know the exact dimensions of the field, but I know it's bigger. It's bigger up north. So I think the end zones, instead of 10 yards, the end zone in the CFL are 20 yards. So it is not uncommon to run a fade, a go route on the goal line. It's not uncommon to see that in the CFL. And the width of the field is also wider too. And I think that may be 10 yards wider. So I think on the NFL, college and NFL field is 53 yards, 53 yards wide. But I think in the CFL it's 63. And I'll let Dante confirm when he gets back. But yeah, the dimensions of the field are they're crazy. And you feel it too. So the transition, once you make the transition from American style football to the Canadian, there's a large difference. And mind you, defensive line play, line play in general, is different as well. So um, when I played, I always used to line up off the ball maybe a yard, a half yard. But in the CFL, it is a rule. You are offsides if you don't line up a yard off the ball. So I'm just talking about the dimensions and the kind of the difference between the American style football and Canadian. What are you?
No, no, not to cut you off, but so right before I left, the U.S. fields are 53 by 4 wide, and
Right,
they're what 110 or 120
120.
because the end zones in the U.S. are 10 yards, the end zones in Canada are 20.
Right.
The dimensions in Canada are 65 wide, so
Okay,
53.
60.
53.4 plus what another 11 almost 11 yards wider.
Yeah.
And then you have a 20-yard end zone, which is, man, listen, if you play defensive back up in the Canadian Football League,
All you can do
you
is run.
definitely, yeah, you definitely could play down here. If you're a skilled dude, sometimes I wish I would have went up there first and then came back.
Yeah.
It's made things so much easier because you really had to cover. And there's 5 receivers that can all go in motion.
High motion. Explain high motion.
So high motion is, I played in the boundary, so that's more so like the NFL because it's quicker throws. They put the best receivers in the boundary.
Well, you can see the most work too.
Yeah, so you're gonna put the best receivers in the boundary. You're gonna put the best DBs in the boundary. So it's me and Corey Banks for a long time doing that thing over there. So when I say when you say high motion, he's talking about a guy lining up and then looking at you and then backing up 15, 20 yards and then get a running start
A running start.
Now, mind you, when we went to go play Toronto that first year, I'm covering old school Bad Moon Rising at 38, still with all his tools.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Next to him was another former first round draft pick who went to USC who had gasoline. For those of y'all who know, RJ Soward could pick him up and put him. RJ Soward could pick him up and put him down. So he played the slot, and then Andre Rison was playing and Tony Miles would play the X. Listen to me, man.
There's some talent that year, man. 2004.
And then you had Marcus Allen's younger brother, who's a phenom, played deals 44, who's in the CFL Hall of Fame with 70+ thousand passing yards. Damon Allen. Like, dude, it just, people got to understand, man. It was no joke.
And that year it was a CFL lockout, so we were the only show in town that year in Canada. Yeah. So there was no NHL. It was just us. So amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. So talk about your rookie year, like.
My rookie year, my first year in Canada. I ended up being started all 18 games, playoffs, and then the Grey Cup. Ended up re-injuring my shoulder and needed to get surgery again after that season. But did, play well. We lost the Grey Cup my first year there. I ended up getting surgery in January, got myself back together by the spring, had a phenomenal camp. 2005 had probably one of my best seasons. 2005. Mm-hmm. The head scout at the Kansas City Chiefs followed the CFL all year. They called me the best corner in Canada that year. After the season, Kansas City Chiefs flew me in, worked me out. Herman Edwards just got the job. I worked out.
I remember that.
Yeah. So they signed Casey Printers, and then, after my workout, Herman Edwards was like, "Hey, I'm gonna shoot it to you straight." Herman's a straight shooter. We're gonna sign you today. So I go on my little medical tour with the head trainer. He taxied me around to the hospitals, getting MRIs and taking blood and all this old stuff. So after we do the MRI, the doctor's like, "Well, he got my blessing." The head trainer gets on his cell phone and start talking to, I guess he calling back to Arrowhead. And he just I kind of feel this energy like, damn, they're going to be tripping off my shoulder. So I get back to Arrowhead. I'm sitting downstairs in the lobby. I think Carl Peterson was the GM at the time. I'm not mistaken. They bring me in the office like, "Dante, well, we want you to be a Kansas City Chief. However, you're going through the paperwork. The way your MRI looks, your shoulder is in some pretty bad shape. But I mean, you've played 2 years in another pro league, so we want to sign you, but we're gonna give you a split contract. For those that don't know what a split contract is, it's for late round draft picks and free agents. Let's say your salary is 300 grand or 350. If you get hurt, if you hurt that area that they're concerned about, you're gonna get like, what is it, 80% of it, something like that.
I don't know, boy.
I don't remember the exact
Right.
number, but I think it's about 80 to 85% of the total value of the contract. So I went ahead and signed the contract, and I didn't get a signing bonus. So that was the main thing. Like, my dad had just passed. I finally got my shot back to the league. And that was the thing, like, man, I'm 26 years old. I got to get to the bag.
Right.
Yeah, so they signed me, but there was no signing bonus. So for 5 days, I was a Kansas City Chief. And I talked it over with my agent a few times, and it was like, well, man, you're going to have a good opportunity to play, which I would have. I mean, they went ahead and signed, Ty Law at the end of his career, and they let a lot of young guys play. But I made the decision to go renege and go back up to BC and turn my little small contract into a six-figure contract.
Yeah, you got leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, leverage. So that's kind of when you made a decision to make the CFL your home.
Well, yeah, and the other thing was, I knew it, and everybody else knew it. My peers knew it. Like, that dude is an NFL guy. Like,
right.
He's in the league. So it wasn't about my ego no more. It was about me. I'm married with a young son at the time, and it's like, yo, I need to buy a house. I need to, I'm thinking as a mature man,
right,
head of a household, opposed
right.
to chasing my childhood dream. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just had to weigh everything out, and I made the best decision ever.
Right.
I ended up over $1 million out of BC.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I played 11. I made 6 figures for 9 of the 11 years.
And like you said, man, like making 6 figures, and you're not even working half of the year, bro.
Right, and then you could come home. I was making money, and I was BS jobbing it in the off season. I was a group home counselor, so I was making money on top of money, and the exchange rate at the time wasn't bad at all. It was like 89, 90.
Yeah, I remember that being a big thing when we were playing.
Yeah, so and then once I did that, I became my own agent, and what I was doing, I know Corey Banks did it too. Milt Stiegel, shout out to Aunt. He gave me a lot of the game on how to do your contract. So what I would do is every year I'll just sign a 1 and a op, and then I get a signing bonus in February. Well, hey man, I made the All-Star team again. Hey man, I was one of the better players in the league. My performance exceeded that last contract. So give me a signing bonus. So to get 40 or 50 grand in February, taxed only at 15% because I'm an American citizen.
Right.
I got 42.5 before I even get to training camp. So for those that don't know, back then the base salary for a rookie or a first year player in Canada was like 45 grand. So you basically gave me somebody's whole salary.
Yeah.
Before I even did anything. So I was given the game on how to construct your contracts in terms of getting a $10,000 housing allowance, getting 40 or 50 grand up front. Then you got 40 or 50, maybe 60 grand, of a base salary, just figuring out how to distribute the money so it works best for you as when you talk about tax purposes and exchange rate.
Right.
So that's kind of what I continue to do.
So you go through your career, and it's an amazing career. You win your Grey Cup, your first Grey Cup. I'm not sure what year it was.
06.
06.
Oh yeah, when I came back from the Kansas City thing, got the bigger contract, we won the Grey Cup that year.
Yeah, had an amazing year, and then you win your second one. I'm not sure what year was that. What year was the second one?
2011. So it took 5 years to get to the next one. I'm not being arrogant when I make this statement, because if you know, you know. So
right.
Most part up there, the BC Lions were like a Patriots style organization.
Oh, like, no doubt. No doubt.
We were, you had to get to the Grey Cup, especially coming out the West, you had to go through us. And then the tide started to change in '08 when Calgary started like, hey man, we ain't finna be your little brother no more. Take this, pow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, man, we should have. I got 2 rings. I literally should have 4, maybe 5. And I say
Did
that
you?
with
So how many Grey Cups in total did you go to?
3,
Win the 3 and 1, 2.
1, 2, and then so check it out. So we went in '04.
Right.
So this is so those that don't know, this is how it went. We go in '04. We ended up losing to a more veteran team in Toronto with DA and them.
Well, we monkey stomped in the regular season though.
Right. And then they put together a good game plan. They edged us in the Grey Cup. Okay, so '05, we running through it again, and we lose at home in the Western Final against Edmonton. So we should have went back to back. '04,
Right.
'05.
Right.
Then '06, we finally we destroyed the league in '06. I think that particular team in the entirety of the history of the CFL, over 100 years of being, in existence, that was probably one of the most dominant teams ever. That 2006.
I know that D line was sick, bro. That D line was
like 10 of the 12 players on defense made the All-Star.
All-Star. I remember seeing that. I was like, man, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. So that's my point. So '04 we lose. '05 we lose at home, which we shouldn't have lost the game before the Grey Cup. '06 we finally just win it. '07 we should have win again. We let Saskatchewan get us, edge us out. And then '08, that's when the wheels started falling off because Calgary was just not to be played with in '08. So then '09 and '10, we had to move to a makeshift stadium, the old Empire Stadium, because they were redoing the top of BC Place, making it retractable or opening up. That was a tough year. And then so we didn't move back into BC Place until after 5 or 6 games of the 2011 regular season. So we started out with 1-6.
Right. Wow.
And then when we moved, we ran the table. I mean, we also got Arlen Bruce and Ted Cornegay. So it was a Cinderella. And then we hosted the Grey Cup in 2011. So it was a beautiful situation. Like I said, we had a lot of successful teams.
I want to say this though. When and we talked about it very, very brief. We didn't go into much detail. You can go into detail if you like, but like you were still in great shape. Like still almost in your prime. Your last contract.
35 years old.
Yeah. So whatever happened?
So this is what happened, man. And I finally talked to WB. We
Oh really?
Yeah, I finally talked to him.
Okay.
I didn't want to talk to him. It took me 4 years to talk to him. 5 years. No.
That's Wally Buono. For guys who don't know what the WB is.
It took longer than that. I just talked to him maybe before COVID.
Really?
Yeah, like 2018, 19 maybe.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
From 2011. So long story short, myself, Corey Banks, and Ryan Phillips been together for 10 years. And between the 3 of us, we have over 100 interceptions. Now, these are 3 DBs starting in the secondary.
Yeah, very special group.
We have out of 3 of those, and I'm not even counting the GOAT that plays safety for us, the homie Baron Miles. He got like 65 by himself.
Wow.
I have like 33. Banks got like 37. I think Ryan had like 42. It was some hella ridiculous. Like 3 dudes in the same secondary have over 100 interceptions, 12 or 13 defensive touchdowns, numerous All-Star, All-Pro accolades, and 2 Grey Cup championships. So, I was a 35-year-old guy, phenom, 6-pack, still could play just like I did at 25. For those that don't, I'm very always in shape. I'm 40.
You said, D-Ray, I can do this till I'm 40.
Yeah. And what happened was we weren't winning. Other teams were catching up, and we're aging. They had let G-Roy go. He ended up in Saskatchewan his last year or 2.
And 1-1.
Yeah. And it was just, and here's just what it is. I had to get out of my feelings.
Because you were deep in your feelings, bro.
I was because The reason I was in my feelings, I've given you 11 years of my life. Battled, man, I played hurt. I played with one shoulder one year.
Right.
I don't needles to play. I mean, like I was, tried and true BC Lion. I spent one, my entire Canadian Football League career in one place on the West Coast. I'm a West Coast guy. Like I felt like I gave that organization everything. Everything I lined it up, I laid it all out there. And, they compensated me well. I'm not gonna say they did. Was it my max worth? No, but I can't complain. Like, I was taken care of, but I earned that.
Right.
And I just felt like it was bullshit. Like, you just didn't want to pay the contract no more. You didn't have a suitable replacement. Here it is. I'm 35 and you got 20 somethings can't do. So I felt as if at least if you think that I don't still have it, which is clearly not true, I could have moved to safety. You didn't never give me that opportunity.
Yeah.
It felt like, he basically, I was a veteran guy who was looking out for the younger guys. Like same way Milt Stiegel told me and Corey, same way, Carl Kidd was giving us this insight on the business side. And,
right.
So I would tell some of them young guys, hey man, you hurt, man. Don't you get out there and practice, brother. Because, you know what they do. They get you on film and you out of here.
Yep.
So
time out. So so go deep in what you just said, because there's a lot of people who don't know the business side.
The business side of pro football is ugly.
A beast.
It's you go from a guy making plays and them talking to you every day and there's write-ups in the newspaper to when you get an injury and you ain't playing, they walk right by you.
I knew I was getting cut. I knew I was getting cut because me and Bob Obilovich would talk. We would have casual conversation every time we saw each other. Mm-hmm. And right before they cut me, that casual conversation just came, "Hi, Aaron," and he just kept it moving.
Yeah.
After he said that, I knew that leash was short. And about a day or two so after that, I was gone. Yeah,
man. I seen a lot. Playing 12 years of professional football, I've seen a lot.
Like, yeah.
It's tough, man. Like the average person, these cats that's sitting on couches that ain't never signed a pro contract have no idea. If you ain't never played in the league, you have no idea. You just talking. Right. So these athletes deserve every dollar they get. I'm sorry, because I was one of those guys. I know, and here's my analogy. You have to be Clark Kent, then you got to go get in the phone booth, change into Superman, go to practice, and mind you, you're not just getting evaluated on game day, you're getting evaluated every day at practice by your employer. Not only is your employer evaluating, you got a bunch of slap dicks that ain't never did nothing in their life getting on blog boards, talking crazy about you too. Hey man, my son can read, brother.
Right, right.
So the average Joe don't even understand what that life is about. It's high stress. Like people that work regular jobs think they got stress, bro. You had no idea.
Right.
You have no
idea. Oh yeah, I was telling Craig in our interview, and you guys had it, and I heard what you just said, but you guys had it easy in comparison to a practice roster guy. I counted a blessing that I stay on the practice roster all year, just knowing the revolving door that goes on all year. Every one-on-one drill after practice was my evaluation. Had I had one day where my pass rush wasn't up to par, I would went home. And that's what's in the back of your mind every day. But even as a starter too, there's no slack cut on you guys neither. As a matter of fact, it's more intense.
Well, yeah, because you're American. So for those that don't know, if you are American, like in the Canadian Football League, because the NFL
there's a ratio.
They don't care if you're from Mars. You could play. So with the Canadian Football League, there's a ratio. So you only can have a certain amount of American-born players and a certain amount of Canadian-born players. It's way harder to make a CFL roster, brother. They not having 90 plus going through. We don't even have OTAs. in the CFL, they just start doing that kind of later towards in the end of my career, where some teams will fly to Florida and hold little 3-day mini camps.
Really?
Yeah, Saskatchewan used to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But that's not normal. Like in the CFL, show up at training camp. If you look like shit, you're going back home. That's
Right.
kind of just how it was. It really wasn't. You kind of was on your own until you got up there for the season. And you know, I had bought a house. I had a house built in Atlanta, so I lived in Atlanta 7 years. So myself, Corey Banks, Otis Floyd, Darian Durant played QB at Saskatchewan.
That's one, yeah.
Terrence Edwards, Robert Edwards. Man, we had like literally full 7-on-7 training. Milt Stegall, like we had a bunch of NFL, CFL, NBA. Like it's lit. It's hot. Atlanta, Georgia is just littered with pro athletes. It's cheaper living, big houses, like, you know, so people move out there. But our training session so intense in that hot ass heat in Atlanta prior to going up, you know, we had
Right.
out at 10 o'clock in the morning before it got
Right.
too hot. So you know, we were always prepared for training camp, but there is no, you know, oh, we flying to, you know, Jacksonville to do our OTAs for 4-6 weeks. Nah, bro. You at the house, man, doing whatever you're doing. A lot of guys had to work in the off season. I was blessed and fortunate to know, you know, after the Kansas City thing and coming, you know, going back to Canada, signing that bigger deal, I didn't have to work.
Right.
So, you know, no professional athlete should have to work, you know what I mean? But, you know, it was a beautiful situation because you really got to love what you do to play at that high level. So going back to the Clark Kent Superman analogy, you know, there's so much stress, and it's you have to like be at your best every time. Cause that the eye in the sky don't lie. That's your resume every time.
Right.
You're stamping that. There were times I go to practice, I ain't feeling it, but I can't get beat deep. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he losing a step. See,
Yeah.
So, you know, I had to prove my love for, you know, 11 straight training camps, man. And even at 35, I still was getting offered to play at 37 years old.
Why didn't you? Like, why didn't you anywhere else?
Okay, so this is what happened. This is why I didn't talk to WB for years. He said that last year, that he wasn't gonna pick up the option on Dante Marsh, Kevin Glenn, Khalif, and a couple other players, and Jamal Johnson. If you say that in a paper, right, the last day when we clean out our lockers, then go ahead and release me. If you know you're not gonna re-sign me, just release me so I could start talking to teams and doing my thing.
Right.
I'm 35 years old at the time playing corner. Now, no lost step, physical shape, great phenomenal shape, all that. But nonetheless, I'm 35 years old. Who's gonna trade for a 35-year-old corner?
Right.
They're gonna wait until you get what I'm saying. So I called him, I emailed him. And like I said, everything is cool, water under the bridge, but this is the story. So I emailed him to, hey, coach, you know, yada yada yada. I'm reaching out to you because I want to be released like ASAP. Because there's you know, there's blog message boards, people making putting Saskatchewan uniform on me, and you know, so I'm like, yo, hey, you ain't. It's over in BC. I felt that when I left. So you know, been there 11 years. Hey, two championships. Did everything I did there. Let me ride off in the sunset with another team. You dig what I'm saying? And let me finish it up on my terms. Because I've given you 11 great years. Like you know. So yeah, well, you know, happy holidays, Dante. You know, it's good.
Get out of here, man.
I promise you, bro. You know, it's good to hear from you. Hope the family's all well. And yeah. Well, you know, we're gonna go ahead and wait till February for the free agency period, and then. But if you hear from some teams, just have them reach out to me.
Trade bait.
Bro, I'm 35 years old, fam. I'm about to turn 36. Can you just release me flat out right now? So it really pissed me off. And obviously, you know, teams in CFL, they already know who they're gonna target for free agency. So they kind of, you know, put their money to the side where how they gonna do what they gonna do. And yeah, I didn't, you know, after that, it was too late. A lot of people gave up their bread to go sign these other guys, and you know, that's what it was. So I was kind of just there. Then I talked to Winnipeg, and they wanted me to come up there, but they wanted me to play halfback, and then they wanted me. But basically, you gonna tutor these young guys because I know that game. So I was trying to get a signing bonus. All right, well, shit, you give me $45,000, I get on a plane tomorrow.
Hmm.
You give me 45 up front right now, and I play for 50, so
Right.
$95,000. You give me $45,000 as a signing bonus, I get on the plane tomorrow. I'll be there. Well, Dante, see, that's the thing, the money. Okay, then so I'm going back to school, getting my degrees. I'm gonna get into coaching. I'm done. So that's kind of how
That was it.
that was it. Then Montreal tried to sign me. We talked, and the same thing. Then they said in the paper, "Oh, he was asking for too much money." Well, I'm not coming up there for chump change,
Especially
you
on
know.
the East. You coming?
Well,
That's
it wasn't even the thing was like, what more do I need to do? Like, I made some good money in BC. I've won championships. I've put together a Hall of Fame career. It gotta. I mean, are y'all even gonna make the playoffs? Like, it got. You know what I mean?
that makes sense for you. Yeah, right.
Makes sense. I mean, I might as well. Why would I interrupt my post football career? Because it was only gonna postpone it at best 2 years.
Right.
So, man, I'm already finishing the 5 classes I have left over from college from 16 years ago. Let me go knock that BA out. Then I jumped in my master's program and got my master's. So,
Congrats on that, bro.
sir, yes, sir. So I had already started coaching, you know. So it
And
was,
let's dive into that because I love what you're doing now. So all of the knowledge, all the jewels, everything that you gained over the years of your playing career, you are now intent. You're intentional. You're 100% focused on now dumping all that you know into to the younger generation of athletes. Just talk about your training regiments, who you're training now. Just talk about your post career, and how wonderful of a resume, just as much of an impressive resume you're building on the trainer and coaching side.
yeah. So I shout out to my head coach and mentor. He's like an uncle to me. Alonzo Carter is my high school head coach at McClimon's High School. He's the running backs coach at San Jose State. So he kind of finessed me in the coaching.
Finesse you.
At Contra Costa Junior College in Richmond, San Pablo, California, in the Bay Area. Um, he was the head coach over there, and he's like, "Hey, D, man, I need you to come be my keynote speaker at my banquet." Right. So I do, and then he like, "Hey, I know you still might want to play, but hey, man, if you done, man, hey, man, you need to get into this coaching, man. Like, you come to practice with, you know, you training them kids and young men, and you still wear your cleats. You can still do all the drip. Like, man, you need to bring that to this. You know, you need to coach the secondary." So I'm like, I ain't trying to coach, man. I ain't gonna pressure you, but you know, let me know at least in a week or so. No, shout out to Zoe, man. I owe a lot to that man. He's a guy that I watched build himself. You know, coming from the ghetto, coming from the hood, and overcoming some of his own things to be who he is today. Like, he is the epitome of getting it out the mud,
Right.
and helped so many players, dog, get Division I college scholarships, and he has a slew of pro guys, me being one of them. So yeah, started my coaching career at Contra Costa Junior College in 2015. We went 9-3, had a few all conference DBs. I was commuting, so I couldn't continue to coach there. So I did 2016 and 2017 at Modesto Junior College. We had my first year, we won the conference. I was a secondary coach. We had 3 first-team all-conference DBs. One of them got a Division I college scholarship. Did 2 years there. My son was approaching his junior year in high school.
Chris.
I had a couple of D1. opportunities that I turned down, quality control, get my foot in the door.
Right.
I couldn't, I was divorced, recently divorced. So I'm a single father. My daughter still with my ex-wife, and my son wanted to come live with me. So due to me, being a single dad at the time, I really couldn't just up jump and go do college coaching opportunities. So
Right.
I ended up coaching him in high school at Edison High School, Stockton. So we it was myself, Lavelle Hawkins, Tim Brown, Desmond Bishop, Lateef Graham, Orlando Evans. Like, man, we put together an all-star coaching staff of former D1 pro guys. Like, it was a cheat code, right?
Right.
So we turned the program around. Then I got the opportunity to become the defensive coordinator at San Joaquin Delta Junior College in Stockton. So I just resigned from there. Got some D2 offers that I really couldn't pursue due to the financial standpoint of it. But we opened up a training facility, man. It's taken off. Mentoring, young players. One of the younger guys that just finished up at Oregon State out of Antioch High School, he played with Najee Harris, Isaiah Dunn.
Mm.
He just signed with the New York Jets as a priority free agent. I think he got one of the biggest deals ever for an unsigned, undrafted player.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a slew of D1 guys at Washington State, Oregon State, Fresno, my alma mater. I got guys all over the place, man. So I'm just so content, having fun. It's keeping me young, and we're pouring into these young people, man, and they need it.
Right. Right. Now we were talking off camera. We were talking right before we started to record about the work ethic between our generation and new generation. What would you say the difference is?
I think the difference is I know for me personally, I came up in an era where it was real, bro. Like,
right.
It wasn't. There was no social media. Growing up in the decade of the '80s and the decade of the '90s and the early 2000s, like, I had a beeper. Like, there was no cell phone, there was no internet, no huddle, no YouTube. So if you was a guy, these coaches had to actually come physically see you.
They gotta come see you, right?
My highlight tape is on a VHS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they had to come see you, man, and shake your hand, feel on your shoulders and your arms. Oh yeah, okay. So I just think we when the term getting it out the mud, that kind of don't exist too much to this generation. Like, my son is 19 now. Like, his generation, they ain't really getting nothing out the mud. Most of y'all done lived in suburbs, because your parents, we've done a better job, as each generation should, to make your life easier. But I think it takes away their tenacity. It takes away their hunger for more, because they could get a pair of Jordans. I couldn't get a pair of Jordans until I got to about 10th grade. My daddy was like, I ain't paying no $100 for no tennis shoes. It ain't no Stacey Adams, Jack. So it's just a different world. We had to really get to it. So I think that's the difference. They don't have a sense of urgency. And and guys, young people, I'm not bashing y'all, because all of you do not fall in that category. There are some young guys. I have some that I train that they hungry, they go-getters. But I'm saying, as a whole, the general statement, when I look at the percentage, y'all, if y'all had our work ethic, y'all would be unstoppable, because you guys have resources that we've never had.
Right.
A guy like me didn't exist in 1980 something or 1990 something. If they did, you was gonna pay bands. You understand me? There was no personal trainer guy like that. Didn't my daddy?
Especially on the high school level, non-existent.
My daddy would have been like, pay somebody to work. Boy, you better lift them rusty ass weights in the backyard. You better go get on the track team. I ain't paying nobody to teach you how to that. So that's how that would have went.
Right.
So, but now you have former players that have because I was my own guinea pig. My dad did. I didn't know about the NCAA clearinghouse until the end of 11th grade. I didn't really know about taking the SAT. I didn't know core classes versus, man, I'm gonna take me a PE class and I'm I'm gonna retake the history class at summer school. I'm eligible. I
Right.
didn't know. So since I went through that process and learned it, now I can walk them from A to Z. My dad couldn't do that for me. He could only take me so far because he
Right.
didn't do that process. So the younger generation now, if they can just get that old school blue collar work ethic, man, these youngsters will be unstoppable because the
Right.
resources are abundantly available.
Right. Right. So what's next for Dante Marsh? This it?
Now, what's next for me is like I said, my phone stay ringing for opportunities. I'm going to take this time to just kind of be in slow motion in regards to making a decision on the coaching part of it, because
Right.
like I said, the training business is flourishing. I got a few other things that I do that are lucrative. So I'm enjoying my time right now. But if my alma mater, Fresno State, if that ever come to fruition, it's a done deal
Right.
on
Right.
my end anyway. So
Right.
no, in all seriousness, it got to make sense financially because the things that I'm doing now, I'm good. So
Right.
I'm at a stage with the experience and the knowledge that I have and the things I'm able to bring to the table. It requires a bigger bag.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. You have an elite level of knowledge um, as it pertains to the DB corner position, and you ought to be compensated for such knowledge. Because I'm gonna tell you, bro, as a former college coach, not all of these college coaches are knowledgeable about the position that they coach. I'm telling you, I've seen some of the worst. Um, got a little glare here. Yeah, I've seen some of the worst. And they getting a king's ransom for hardly they getting a
Yeah,
king's ransom for not knowing nothing, bro.
yeah, and then not just that part, but they don't really care. Like,
They don't. Some don't.
you know, at different levels is different things. So at the 4-year level, you got to win.
Yeah.
It's results based because you're not teaching classes.
Right.
You are getting paid handsomely to recruit players and coach football. That's all you are. When you talk about the lower levels, junior college and high school, if you're at the high school, you're making most of your money as a teacher, and then you're getting a stipend here in California anyway. I mean, I know in the South, these high school coaches getting that bag. But here in California, your money coming from working your regular job and then get a stipend. And at the junior college level, you could once you become a tenured professor, you on easy street
Right.
as at most junior colleges because they're not gonna fire you, win, lose, or draw.
Right.
So for me, I don't want to be attached to programs that don't have the desire to be great. Like at the end of the day, everywhere I've been, we've had success
Right.
as a player and a coach. I got 2 rings coaching. I mean, we've developed players. Players have gotten scholarships. Players always come back to and train with me and reach out to me for advice. So it's like I said, it's a proven system and formula. And then
Right.
the main thing is being able to relate with the player and connect with the player, because my phone stays open long after I'm done coaching or training. And all the guys I've come in contact with know that. They can call me 10:30, 11 o'clock, midnight. Coach Marsh, hey, what's up? What you need? It's about them because like I said, my resume is good. I'm Gucci.
Right.
So
Right.
all these guys have gotten better after coming in contact with me than when they came to me. So that's my adrenaline rush there is these guys are becoming better men. We don't just talk ball. We
Right.
talk life lessons. Guys are going off getting college paid for, coming back with a degree. This is Operation Free Education.
And
Everybody,
and it, and they get paid off their likeness now. What?
yeah. NCAA, if you're listening, I need retro pay.
Ah,
In all seriousness, man, it's like you know, that's the dopest feeling, because I am a father. I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son. So, you know, these are all like my surrogate, you know, nieces, nephews, and children that I'm
Right.
coming in contact with. And there's hundreds of them, man. And that's the dopest feeling, because they're getting better, man. I'm helping them reach their dreams and goals.
Whatever happened to Chris? I know I know he was putting in that work with him, and boy, did you get him to a level of a play that was I thought it was pretty good. Did he decide to do something else other than football?
So he hasn't enrolled in college. He's going on 2 years being removed. Um, I'm a little disappointed with his choices, but I mean, the kid is a talented kid, man. He's 6 foot. He's taller than me.
Yeah, I was about to say he's a tall kid, tall corner.
And he just naturally talented in a lot of little things.
Right.
So he's what we was talking about earlier, that work ethic. Here it is. I had like 4 or 5 D1 dudes training. They're paying me, you know, before they go off to college. You know, they got scholarships.
You got daddy for free.
You get it for free, bro. And then I'm his dad. And then a lot of the guys I know, you know, we did a camp a couple before COVID. My big bro, Hannibal Navy, shout out Han. You know, Maurice Jones-Drew, Lorenzo Neal, Deion Grant. It's a lot of guys. These are some, you know, Kirk Morrison. These are, yeah. They just talking to him. Chris, hey, Tay, that's your son. They just talking to him. Hey man, listen to your daddy, man. Like he gonna have you right, little C. And one ear, not the other. And then he's being in the locker room, like he's been born into this. So I think for him, he look at me, oh, that's just my daddy and some of these dudes, like, whatever.
Yeah.
So he didn't really, you know, he don't have the same like I do.
Yeah.
When it comes to the process.
Yeah.
And very talented, uber talented, man. I seriously think if he decides to do it, he'll be better than I was, because I'm gonna see to it, because I'm gonna help him.
Right.
But he does music, you know, he can sing his tail off and he rap. Like, I didn't know he was that good. So he got a few songs on iTunes, he's working. So I'm just, hey, I'm gonna pour into anything positive that you're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
That you're pretty gifted in. I'm gonna help you do that. But I told him, I said, you gotta love this football thing, man. You gotta love anything that you're doing if you want to be great at it.
Right.
And I just feel like this generation are they're flighty. Oh, I want to do this today. I want to do that tomorrow.
Well, they have so much at their disposal, bro. They got so much. We didn't have that, man. We didn't have that. I wanted to do music and football. There was no studio I could go to learn how to be an engineer. There was no studio I could go to learn how to make beats. Now, you just pull up a laptop, you know, pull up some plugins, and you got your whole studio, bro.
Yeah, and the thing of it is it goes back to this. I don't care if it's 1950, 2000, 2021, or 3015. Some stuff just is what it is, bro.
Right.
You will never be able to supersede hard work. When hard work beats talent, when talent don't work hard.
Pretty much.
So,
bottom line.
I've been in the NFL. I played in the CFL for 11 years, man. I've trained with some of the who's who, the Chad Johnsons, the TJ Hushmanzadas, the Charles Woods. I done trained with some guys. Bruh, everybody talented in that arena.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even the guy that don't start was a guy. You know what I mean? So I've watched guys, and I tell young people all the time, I was on the NFL roster, I was around, you know, so I saw there's only literally like 5 or 6, there's a handful of freak of nature dudes on each team. Like, everybody isn't just outrageously gifted.
Right.
The league is made up of guys who work really hard to become that all pro, to become that Pro Bowler, to become that one-day Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's the majority, the Shannon Sharps of the world, 7th round draft pick. My brother was a 1st round draft. He's the guy. I'm the guy that's kind of in the shadow. I'm not big enough to be a blocking tight end in old school 21 personnel, but I'm not fast enough to be a wide out. He was a tweener.
Right.
Physically well put together, but he wasn't that in between. So he his hard work and diligence, man, looking at him now, at his age now, he's still rocked up.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, Shannon was a guy. So he's a Hall of Famer, a Super Bowl champion. Because of the hard work, though. You see, it all goes back to that hard work. So I'm just pointing out, Blaine Bishop told me, like, yeah, Dante, I was an 8th round draft pick. They don't even have 8 rounds no more. So
Blaine Bishop will lay you out, bro. night.
Bang you, knock you in the
night.
So that's what makes up the majority of the league. Like, just hardworking guys that just got a chip on their shoulder and they just go to work every day. So I say all that to say, if these young guys adopt that type of work ethic with the resources and the availability to all this technology that exists now, you are unstoppable.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. But they continuously need guys like yourself. I've now switched over into another arena. I'm in education in the arts, so I'm not as deep into athletics as you are. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what arena you're in. It's still gonna come back to that word that you use. It's hard work. It's hard work. All right, you got to be disciplined. And that's something a lot of these kids have no idea about. So it has to be continuously pounded into their head. They have to say it over and over again. It's something they have to see on a continual basis, and that's done by men like yourself and me. So I love what you're doing, man. I keep doing it. Don't stop. Every day, every day I'm watching something that you're doing on Twitter, bro.
Man, I listen to me, Aaron. I have so much fun.
It looks like it. It really does. It looks like
it. This is fun to me because it keeps me young.
So this is important to me. When I see everybody in unison, I see everybody's steps are the same. When I see everybody's breaking the same, when I see everybody is going at a 45, all the things I'm looking at. And that's all the things your kids have. I love seeing what you're doing, bro. And I know that they're doing it the right way. So if you're in the Oakland area, the Bay Area, you're looking for a coach that's gonna get you right, I'll have my man Dante Marsh. He'll definitely get you right.
Yeah, the bottom line is this: it takes thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours to become great at something.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're not gonna. Rome wasn't built in a day. God didn't snap his fingers and everything was already here. It was a process. It was dark and there's light. And there's animals on land animals. There's animals in the sea. Like, it was a process, right? So I'm trying to get them to understand that it's like a piggy bank. And as a kid, for those of us who are old enough to really still got down with that have gotten down with piggy banks, you would deposit things, money, dollars, quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, et cetera, into that piggy bank until when? Till it fills up to capacity and there's no longer any room for you to put anything inside. Then at the end, you bust it open so you can go buy whatever you wanted to buy. So using that analogy is like every day the rent is due and I got to pay it.
Yeah, pay it.
Every day I got to make a deposit to get closer to my goal. So if you're not doing that, then that goes back to what you were saying was the discipline part of it, and that's all it is, man. There's some great young people out here. I'm not bashing the young people. I'm just saying, if you want to be great, young people, with the resources that you have today in 2021 and beyond, with the technology you have today, with the availability to reach out and touch guys like us today,
right?
Get to work, bro. Just die now and live forever.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do. I'm telling you, it's like a foolproof method, and I guarantee success of some kind. Some kind if you follow that method. It's
so easy, but yet so hard to do for a lot of people, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, man. We're gonna sign off on that, man. I love you, man. You're my motivation every day, my inspiration. So, man, like I said, keep doing what you're doing. Holler me if you need something on my end, and I know I can definitely holler at you if I need something on your end.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Take it easy. Happy Sunday to you. Have a good rest of your day, bro.
Likewise.
Take it easy.
All right.
Peace.